Options are a financial instrument whose intrinsic value, the end value, the terminal value of the option contract is zero. Everything else between zero and whatever you pay for it and what you sell it for is all volatility and speculation.
I think for an advanced investor, so we've got kind of different levels of stackers. We got people that are bricklayers. You're just building your foundation. Throw any idea of building your foundation out of options out the window, because there is no foundation. I mean, this is a Three Little Pig story, right? Build the house of brick.
Options are a financial instrument whose intrinsic value, the end value, the terminal value of the option contract is zero. All options end at the end of their term at zero. So everything else between zero and whatever you pay for it and what you sell it for is all volatility and speculation. Doesn't mean you can't make money. There's plenty of go on Wall Street bets on Reddit, and you'll see somebody tomorrow that goes, do you see what I put $100 in this, made 47,000 in 3 minutes. It happens. Absolutely, it does.
I think for the advanced Benjamin builder, that you've built up a sizable portfolio, and it's almost like somebody who's a good fisherman. I've been going fishing a little more lately with my buddy Todd. Todd is a great fisherman, goes out all the time. He knows exactly what lure to use in each situation. He knows the bait, he knows the depth, he knows the part of the lake. And for those people that are much more of a surgeon, knowing where to use an option can be a valuable part of your risk strategy. But the thing I want to highlight that you said earlier is that the biggest mistake I see, and I see this 95% of the time with options when people are just starting out, is that they're using it to get rid of the volatility in the position. You set your option way too close, way too close to the point that it's at now, and you end up neutering your portfolio. And I think we really need to highlight, stackers, is you need that volatility. You have to have that volatility, because the volatility on the upside is the only thing that's going to make it so you don't need to save dollar for dollar every piece of your retirement. You want your money to do it, and using options willy-nilly, as mom says, to control risk in your portfolio is just going to be a disaster, just an absolute unmitigated disaster. So that's frankly why I don't use them. I think they can be good, but I think you really got to be an expert fisherman and go, oh, in this one little, guess what? I've got this one little case. Like, people hear covered call strategies. I'm not going to get into what a covered call strategy is, but when you first heard about covered calls and somebody explained covered calls to you, I was like, why the hell wouldn't I do that every second of every day?
Free money.
This just
money
makes
glitch.
So much sense. And then you get in, you start looking at the call options, and you see where the pros are pricing these things. And it is a ton of work for almost no juice, because these people aren't stupid. The algorithms they're using aren't stupid. These people have this stuff priced so professionally that you've got to, spend a ton of time to eke out just a few drips. And I don't know, after playing the covered call game a little bit myself, I go, why would I waste my time doing this? I could make far more money doing something else.
And then when it stops working in a very, very fast hurry.
Very, very quickly. So love the idea of option stackers. I've seen options a lot in the market, and I think that's because we've had so much talk lately, of volatility. People start going, oh, volatility. How do I control
all-time high?
I control downside risk?
Congratulations.
I'm going to use options. I'll link to this piece on our show notes at stackingbenjamins.com. One thing it does talk about, OG, that I worry about. There's some guy throwing shade here going, sometimes advisors don't want to use options just because your advisor doesn't understand options. When you read that, you'll read that in the Wall Street Journal, right? Somebody just throwing shade. What do you think about that when somebody says, well, is the problem that you don't understand options? That's why you don't want to use them?